Yo, what's up, lads? So, chances are you're probably watching this video because your reality isn't where you want it. You think you're a little bit of an underachiever, and we've all been there. You think you are a certain level of intelligence and you're frustrated. How am I here when I think I know this? Surely I should be there. And then you see guys who you deem as much less intelligent than you achieving so much more. Like, I'm living out in Dubai, been here a few years. I've got a personal development business, physique, mindset, and I do the business coaching as well. And I've got a big network out here of guys that I spend a lot of time with. And I will say this, and I remember having the conversation as soon as I first got here. I was on the phone with my mom and I said, you know what? Like, this used to be a huge goal of mine, being able to live wherever I want in the world and operate how I do. And I came and I was like, Mom, it's actually crazy. Like, it's not like everyone's just extremely normal. Everyone who's hyper successful, who's put the graft in, who can do whatever they want when they want, and all the people on like now my level, they're very normal people. They're not like A-star students. They're not more clever than you. The perception of what intelligence is in society is completely wrong. Now, I'm originally from the UK, so any of the UK lads watching will kind of know that, like, same everywhere, I guess, in the US and Oz, but like UK specifically, it's, go to school and you get your A stars and you've got to work hard. But that's just not true. Here's my definition of intelligence. My definition of intelligence is being able to visualize a goal, believe in yourself, take action, and actually achieve your goal. So if you're completely honest with yourself, yes, right now, chances are you're probably someone that's already doing fairly well. You'd probably deem yourself as someone that's doing better than everyone else in your friendship group. You got a little bit more muscle than them. You got less body fat. You're the one that turns up at the gym. You eat a little bit healthier. You might have a slightly better paid salary, or you've got your own business, but it's not quite where it needs to be, but you're ahead of the pack. That's why you're watching this video, because you sort of guys watch YouTube videos. That's like what I used to be like. But this is the issue, guys. Like, you're still not where you want to be. And one of the first things I want to talk about today is standards and the environment you're in. Like, society makes it very hard to go and achieve huge goals because what you see around you isn't huge goals. And you need to be, it's the law of exposure, guys. You need to be in proximity to what you want to go and achieve it, right? So if you think you're looking around and you're like, yeah, if I'm honest with myself, like, I'm earning 3, 4, 5, 6K a month now, but like, I would want the 50, I would want the 100, da. Oh yeah, I know I'd want to be more shredded. I know I'd want more muscle, but I've got more than my mates. That's the issue, guys. You are the big fish in a small, fucked up pond of AIDS, and you're thinking you've won before you've won. I remember this, guys. Like, I was back in the UK at home and I was doing better than my mates, and I was the one that went to the gym. I ate healthy. I didn't drink as much alcohol. I still drank a bit, And you start, getting the girls in the air. You start being the one that gets the recognition. And that's the problem. You then start to think you're at the top of the pack, and you see your village, you see your town, you see your county, even your country as you made it. And it's not until you get around the next level you realize you're nowhere near where you want to be. I thought I'd made it. I was celebrating too soon. Weren't until I actually invested in a mentor. Spent a lot of money back in the day. And what it did was it brought me into a room with different people. It brought me access into a different room. And I was like, fuck, I'm actually nowhere near where I want to be if I'm completely honest and transparent with myself. Nowhere near. Like, I was doing maybe a few K at the time when I invested in my first mentor. And I was going self-employed. I started off as a personal trainer, then I had my online photo shoot business for men and women. And then I built Electo One, which has been my major business, which is personal development, physique, mindset, lifestyle, changing the route, changing the path, and having an impact on thousands of guys. But like, that first mentor what it did, where the mentor was very valuable, but it put me in a room of people who were doing already 10, 20, 30K a month. And I was celebrating in my town because I was like, oh, I can buy the drinks on the round. It's fucked up. So what it does is when you are in a small pond, it's like a cage. You're like eroding. You are just going moldy. You're going backwards because you're staying the same. It's like got a leash on you. You need to get into these new environments. You might need to just go travel or get a one-way flight somewhere if you've got the balls to do it. You might need to, start trying to hang out with new people. You might have to invest in a mentorship program or a coaching program to get into the room of at least other guys on the same mission, and obviously lads on the same mission, but already further ahead. That's what's really important, because then you get that law of exposure, which puts you in a new room, and now you're the smaller fish in a big pond. And that's the only environment you will grow. You will not grow, a shark will not grow in a fish tank. You have to get into the big ocean. So my first piece of advice really is get uncomfortable. Take the hard decisions, always. And also when it comes to getting in new networks, a big part of that is being the guy, like paying your way in is what I did my whole way up. I paid my way into programs, but as then you start, becoming the guy, what naturally happens is you, for free, get into these big environments because you are now the guy that's on that level. Like if you're here right now and you're not at that level with your physique or with your mindset or with your career or your business and your lifestyle, you're not getting in these rooms unless you pay. But then you pay and you get in and it elevates you up. You get the advice, you get the exposure, you get the mindsets. But once you become the guy, you then get so much new access, and you get access into these rooms where you get other people on your level, and then you might get into a room where you're in a big pond. That's that ability to do that and like progress to those first and second and third goals puts you in the new rooms. It puts you in the ocean. So it all starts really, guys, with understanding that your environment right now, despite you thinking you're winning because you've got the C class on finance, and you've got a couple of girls that like you, and you're leaner than your mates, and but it's bullshit, guys. Like, you've now got to realize where you are, be self-aware, and close the gap between your thought on, okay, yeah, if I am realistic, I do want more muscle, I do want less body fat, I do need to operate at a higher level, I do want to look better, I do want to do better in my career, I might want my business, I do want to live in Dubai or in Australia or in Miami or in Bali. I do want to do these things if I'm completely honest. The key now is you've got to close the gap between thought and action. So your conscience is telling you where to go. It's telling you what you truly want. And every time you feel a little bit insecure about where you are, that's your conscience saying you need to do something. Now, the problem is, guys, most people don't have the ability to follow the gut, to follow their conscience, because they don't trust themselves. They don't trust that, or they don't believe that they can do it and they can make it happen. And I know me, guys, at the start, I was an engineer working in a factory on minimum wage, and I had a thought like I would love to, have my own business and have a huge impact on lads and, all this stuff, but I weren't the guy. Because I weren't the guy and I weren't living and breathing it myself, I didn't believe I could do it. So this is what you have to do. If you want to close the gap between thought and action, so you can follow your conscience, because your conscience always has the answers. Your conscience is always saying, lose the fat, get in the program, invest in that, move country, do this, go on the date. Like, your conscience is always telling you what to do. To close the gap between thought and action, which is the key to success, because like I said at the start, guys, intelligence is the ability to achieve goals. How do you achieve goals? It's not about thinking you're intelligent, it's about actually taking action. To know but not to do is also not to know. That's what you need to remember, guys. So we're going to close the gap. In order to do that, we have to build up our self-confidence, we have to build up our self-worth, we have to build up who we are. So we start with the small disciplines. We start with waking up that bit earlier, beating everyone else up, just so, again, straight away, bit of an ego. Yes, we're beating everyone up. We've also bought back time. We've now got more time to work on ourselves, more time to train, more time to prep our meals. hit our macros, more time to study, to read, to learn the new skills, to watch videos from guys that are actually doing what you would want to do. Never take advice from somebody that doesn't live a life that you would want to live or you wouldn't trade positions with. That's what's fucked up about schools, guys. So fucked. Like the fact that we go and we study from somebody that doesn't live a life we want, it's so fucked up. Like, just fuck that, guys. Never take advice, even if it's your parents, even if it's your friends, and they think, oh, you shouldn't get that, that's a lot of money, or you shouldn't do that, or you shouldn't go there. I guarantee you, what your conscience is telling you to do, the person who's already achieved it would tell you to do it, but everybody else would tell you not to do it. But that's correct. If everybody else is telling you not to do it, you're probably making the right decision, because you don't want your life. You don't want their life, remember. Their life's fucked up. You need to follow the guys that are already doing it. So start with the small habits. When you lay these habits down, daily, wins, you're building discipline on easy, small disciplines. Like I said, the reading, the studying, the training, the macros. You are getting 1% better every day. It's like the bank account. It's building up. When you know and you're in flow state and it's building up, your confidence increases. You then see physical results. From the inputs you've put in, you get a direct, equal and opposite output. So now you're looking in the mirror thinking, yeah, I'm looking good because I'm smashing my macros, I'm shredded, I'm getting more attention from people, I'm doing better, I'm operating better in my career, I feel good, all this. You then associate these small disciplines, the input with the output. And when you do that, these small disciplines or small pains, basically when you're at your baseline here, a discipline, something that builds you in the long term, makes you feel a little bit worse in the short term, and then you gain in the long term. Whereas most people make decisions based on they're here at baseline, and they make a decision that's comfort, that makes them feel a bit better now, but lowers the baseline. And you're either in a spiral down or you're in a spiral up. And that's what you've got to remember. But when you start to get that positive association with doing the disciplines and getting results, then when your conscience says, start that business, do the photo shoot for your physique, try get to 6% body fat, try build the 10 kg of muscle. When your conscience tells you to do that, because you know that's what's going to make you feel best, you know in your head that if you were earning that extra 10, 20K a month, or you were that bit lean, or you did have that bit more muscle, or whatever, or you were living in Dubai, you know that would make you feel better, so you should follow that. But when you're doing these daily habits, guys, my 5 daily habits, you know you can achieve anything because you've seen the law of cause and effect, the inputs to the outputs. So this is why, if you can't close the gap between your thought and action, it's because you don't do any of the small disciplines. You know, this is why my first program, my phase 1 is VIP. It's the physique and mindset. So even all the guys that, you know, might want to, like I've got guys in my CEO, which might be in sales, they might be in real estate, they might have coaching businesses like me, and they want to build their coaching businesses and they want to have a big impact. I tell people, you know, unless you've already built a lot of that, you should start with VIP. You got to become your best self so you can follow your conscience and go all in. Okay, so closing the gap is all going to come from your self-worth. From here, we then need some specificity on the strategy we're going to take. When you have specificity, you can commit. You've got full clarity. If you don't have a clear vision, it's extremely hard to commit to a goal. It's extremely hard to commit to a strategy. If I didn't have specificity, for example, let's break that down. Specificity might mean the strategy on how I'm going to do it, but also the strategy on exactly what I'm going to achieve. If I said I just want to build a house, it could take me a lifetime because there was no time frame. If I said I want to build a house in 6 months, I would get it done in 6 months. Okay, that's the specificity. Then I want you to start thinking about what are the windows like, how much stone do we need, etc. So when we're talking about your goals, you know, where do you want to be physique wise? You want XYZ physique. You want to be 8% body fat. You want another 5 kg tissue. You want to be doing another $2,000 a month in your career. You want to be living here by X time. Give them exact dates with consequences, okay? It's really, really important. If you've just got a wishy-washy dream, it's a dream. You don't want dreams. You want strategies to make your goal a reality. Dreams are called dreams because you wake the fuck up from them and realize they're not real, guys. You know, this life I've created, living in Dubai, wherever the fuck I want to be in the world. If I want to go get a flight tonight, I will go get a first class flight wherever the fuck I want to go and just go. But this was never a dream. This was always my plan, and it had specificity, okay? Now, that's what we need. We need specificity on what the goal is itself, but then exactly how we're going to get there. So that ties into the next thing. We then need to start visualization, okay? We need to stop now. Well, now we've got this goal. We need to think, okay, let's step back from the goal and let's build our strategy, not into how we achieve the goal, but let's build our strategy into who the fuck do I need to become in order for that goal just to be normal. Because the reality is, guys, as much as, you know, like I knew I used to love myself and I knew I used to think I was already extremely intelligent, I didn't have my goals that I'd set out. So I weren't very intelligent, clearly, because we've all got the misconception of what intelligence is. So you got to boil it back. What version, like what would you have to look like? How would you operate? How would you communicate? How would you make decisions? What would your mindset be like? If that life that you want to be reality, how would you have to be as a person? Who do you have to become? And your whole focus, this is what's probably gone wrong before, guys. I know I made this mistake, was I'd be so obsessed on a goal and I would just keep looking at a goal. And people, like, you know, you'll hear on Instagram and whatever, and people will say, oh yeah, you should review your goals 3 times a day. That's wrong, guys. You should have like a vision board so you can see where you want to go. I'm a believer in that. But start reviewing the goals. Just looking at a goal won't move you to the goal. This is the thing that will move you to the goal. Look daily at who you need to become. Write down all of your daily standards. What are you going to look like? What's your hair going to look like? Guys, I'm not a good example for this today. I shaved my beard the other day and now I look like a mong head, but it will be back. I just wanted a face mask, but it's taken, I don't know, I just look like a fucking seal with no beard. It's not a vibe. But guys, you want to know what's my haircut going to be? You know, where am I going to buy my clothes from? Where am I, you know, going to go do my food shop? How am I going to make decisions? What % body fat will I have? Where will my muscle mass be? Who will my network be? How do I operate? How do I communicate with people? How do I make decisions? You got to know everything. You've got to be able to visualize, not the goal. You've got to be able to visualize you in 2 years' time, you in 4 years' time, the next version of you. Because if you were him, you would have the goal. Everybody's focused on the output, but what you need to focus on is who would just automatically have that output. So the standards that the guy you need to become would live by is then what we need to adopt now. You don't achieve something, guys. So I didn't achieve this life where I could have a nice place in Dubai and do whatever I want and fly and, you know, have thousands of clients that we've serviced in our businesses for life-changing results. I like, that was once a plan. But I didn't just get that and then start operating how I operate today and now have the mindset I have today and think how I think today. I've achieved this as a byproduct of knowing exactly how I would operate to have this. And then I lived how I would be if I had this for years and years up to now. That's the reality, guys. So takeaway from this video that I want you to think about is, right, let's be honest. We've been a bit comfy so far. We've been surrounded by people, you know, we know we're doing good, but we've been thinking we're winning a little bit too soon. Because everyone else, you know, oh yeah, but like, I'm doing better than my mates. No one gives a fuck that you're doing better than your mates, okay? So we need to bring that back, okay? And we need to be fully honest with where we are, and that if we carry on in this same place, doing the same actions as we have been doing, thinking we're winning, we will be here next year and the year after and the year after. And the only time things are going to change is when we wake the fuck up and realize that we're not doing the work we need to be doing. All right. We need to learn to close our gap between, first of all, we need the self-awareness to actually be honest with ourselves. When we were the 5-year-old guy, like, we did want the millions of pounds. We did want the lifestyle. We wanted the network of high performance lads around us. We wanted to have impact. As a guy, it's important that you are having an impact on your family. It's important that you're having an impact on a community, on your family, on literally a community. Like, I can't be fulfilled without having an impact. Like, I built my personal development business to just run and run and run. I got to the point where I was like, I actually have more free time, and I was like, for a week or so, I like lost a bit of fulfillment. I'm like, I need to be helping more people, even though we're helping more people as a brand. Like, it's so streamlined and systemized that, like, I was like, no, I'm actually going to I made our CEO program last year so I can actually, again, have another leverage and help more people build their businesses and scale, whether they've got an idea and they want to close the thought to action and actually make everything and get going and turn that into reality and become the best self, or, you know, whatever. But like, you've got to be doing something that makes you fulfilled. You got to be honest with what you want to do, what you want to achieve. It might be the cars, the lifestyle, the ability to travel, the women, whatever. So you got to be honest with yourself. Then you got to close the gap between thought and action. You can keep sitting around thinking that, you know, you don't have the time now, you don't have the money now. That's never going to change unless you go after it today. Like, you can't keep waiting, because, like, I'm telling you now, guys, I did the same. I worked with hundreds, thousands of clients that have all been through the same position. They sat there for a period of time waiting for something to change. And it was only then, when they got so fed up of their own shit, in the exact same position they were, which they didn't think they had the time or money for before, they then got so fed up of the current reality that they didn't have the money, the lifestyle, the physique. They looked down at themselves. They were disgusted. Like, it's only when you really get pissed off, and this is why the law of exposure is so important, to then, you know, get in front of those guys that do live away, get in front of those guys that do have the better physique, the better chick. It's only then, when you see it and you take off the fucking blindfold and you allow yourself to realize you're not where you want to be, you will have the pain to change. And you had the capability to do it right now, so you should do it right now. So closing the gap between thought and action, small habits, daily routine, daily disciplines. There is no fucking weekends, guys. You live in flow state all the time. You are a rewarded flow state, peace of mind, energy, when you just turn up. The first 4 hours of my day are the same every single day, 7 days of the week. If I want to take like an afternoon off, I will, but the same morning moves me forward. And what is in that morning? Stuff that guarantees growth every day. People don't get close to their goals because they're doing things that keep them busy but don't move them closer to the goals. That's all we focus on. Every single one of our clients has a strategy around their lifestyle and where their free time is or even not around where their free time is, but where they're currently investing time but could be leveraged 100 times more to get more results out. It's all around guaranteed growth. People are busy doing the wrong stuff. If you are busy but you don't have the results, it's because you've been doing the wrong stuff, okay? Like, wake up from that, guys. It's reality. So focusing on the habits, the success list, not necessarily the to-do list. Get specific on exactly where you want to go. Be honest with yourself. People dream too small. People think too small. Plan big. But then get specific on how you're going to do that. Who do you need to become? And focus every single day on becoming him. Guys, appreciate you watching. I'm going to get into my next work block in a few minutes. So I'm going to get off, guys, but I hope you found that valuable. I will as well put in I'll put in the link below to a free self-mastery guide that we run for EO1. It's going to help you with all this stuff in a bit more depth. And also, guys, the VIP and the CEO, if you do want help becoming your best self, building your best physique, building your mindset, helping you become the guy that can actually follow your conscience, or maybe you want to just build the better lifestyle, the business, have an impact, do better in your career. That's where the CEO program comes in. As well, yes, we're building your best self. It's non-negotiable. You always have to become better. But that's then where we will look at the frameworks and the strategies to get you exactly where you need to be. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video. And I'm going to get back to work. Maybe a tanning session this afternoon. Let's fucking go.